There's a 20-second delay, but it's still recording. So we're live already.
We're live. Welcome back.
Hey.
Thanks, man.
It's been a couple days. For anybody watching, we got to do more in-person stuff, which is always fun. At least I think it is, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for everybody.
I hate it. Great.
Terrible time.
This
Don't
game
recommend.
sucks.
0 out of 10.
It's the only time I drink and not be alone.
But I guess for that, we got to do a recap. So the party has been traveling on an airship on their way to Valir's home city of Silicon Valley. He was requested by his sister to come home as something was going on at the estate, the family house and the family business. Valir reaching out to some of the more like trusted servants and people that like kind of looked after him when he was a kid, kind of gave him a little bit of a heads up of his father has been speaking a lot recently of getting his affairs in order and getting paperwork signed, and that it was nice to hear that Valir was coming home to just kind of get the general feel of what's going on. The party received a package from the broker that detailed a bunch of different stuff. We heard a little bit about the history of Tor. We got a little bit of a glimpse of what the Death's Embrace Monastery was doing in Vertrag, and we got a brief look at least the idea of where Seferish Jezerlog has been and is possibly last seen. After the party spent most of the day kind of discussing these different notes from the broker and kind of just piecing through it and discussing what to come next and their next steps after meeting with Valir's family, they went to the bed for the evening. Mostly quiet evening, but somewhere in the middle of the night, as the party's gotten somewhat, I can't say used to, but it's happened a few times now. They've been attacked by robot, android, assassin type creatures from presumably the future. In their sleep while they were separated in 3 different rooms. A battle ensued. Saishori and Suji didn't fare too well after being slow on the draw to wake up, but due to some quick thinking and fear controlling with a goat and some spirit guardians, Vinteth and Revi were able to kind of corral a large group of them, while Seven and Valir were able to pick off the large group that was in their room. Eventually, with the help of way too many 3-piece suit wearing elves storming the hallway, you were able to finally vanquish all of them except for one of the android creatures, which Revi demanded you took alive. Upon restraining the creature and cleaning up the rest of the hallway, Seven and the group, Saishori went to sleep. The rest of the group proceeded to interrogate the android creature that they had captured. Similar to the first one of these that you caught, this one was a little bit more intact, and when you started to speak to it, you watched as the mouth gaped open, and while not moving its lips to speak words, you heard a voice kind of project a poem of familiarity to a couple of you. Well, all of you now, at least in pieces, but it was more complete and it was more pronounced as this one was not as damaged. Forged by man to fight the gods, left to rust and die, from earth his body made, to nature he now abides. Travel west to find the spot where sand denotes the time. Man has everything except the time he wants. He loses it everywhere from morning till night, from birth till death. Time doesn't die at all. It flies away into thin air. That being the part that was already familiar to both Revy and Seven and the party from the previous android, there was a additional few lines added on that the party had not heard before. Rise and fall, ebbing waves, glint of gleaming shores, to and fro, back once more, the sun will come, sea of tales and ore. After saying that phrase, Revy and Seven demanded more answers, demanded to understand where this creature was coming from, who sent it. Unfortunately, it only had one function, that was to repeat that phrase over and over and over. After several utterances of the phrase, it did utter one other phrase. Redundancy protocol activated. Several people in the group, starting with Seven, were alerted to a strange buzzing, humming kind of noise that only certain people could hear. Eventually, moving out into the hallway, you were able to kind of grasp that it was coming not from the android itself, but somewhere else on the ship. Valir, Vinteth, and Suji made your way down the hallway while Revy and Seven continued to dissect and pull apart the android creature. The three of you made your way downstairs to the cargo hold that you had once been to see the different bricks of gold and silvers and fine fabrics and loose gems. And more importantly, the 3 arcane batteries that you've learned from the broker are pretty unstable if jostled too much. And the source of this seemingly loud, humming, echoing, like buzzing noise, 3 devices attached to the top of the crates where these arcane batteries were. Quickly discerning the fact that these were some sort of explosive or dynamite type trigger, Vinteth, as you grabbed one and attempted to dispel magic, Valir and Suji, acting quickly, sprinted out of the room with the other 2, made your way back upstairs to the upper deck, got into the first room that you could open the door, cracked open one of the porthole windows, and threw the 2 bombs out. A few seconds later, as watched the bombs float towards the back of the ship, a loud and large explosion as both of them blew up, mostly out of the range of the ship, but still catching the tail end of it. As Saishori, you woke from the rocking of the ship. You came out just in time to find Valir and Suji looking out a window at an explosion. As you asked what was wrong, Suji made his way up to the upper deck. Valir and you quickly behind. As you got up to the deck and looked out the back of the ship, you saw that the ship was indeed slightly on fire. But you do some quick thinking and fantastic use of tidal wave and control water. Suji, you threw a vial into the air, creating a tidal wave that fell down the back of the ship, putting out most of the flames. And then before the water can fall to the earth, you grabbed it with control water and just kind of ran it back up the back of the ship, putting the flames out completely and potentially saving the ship from just being a giant flaming ball of fire in the sky.
DM, real quick, sorry. I lost, my file didn't completely properly save from last week. What were the extra lines in the poem?
Sure thing. Rise and fall, ebbing waves, ebbing waves, glint of gleaming shores, to and fro, back once more, the sun will come, sea of tales and ore.
That was after mine or Seven's?
That comes after yours. It's Seven's, yours, and then this new bit of text. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I know with his, we got the travel west to find the spot where Sam's to know the time.
Yep.
Cool.
So, as the three of you, Zaishori, Valir, and Suji were putting out the ship and taking care of the bombs, Vinteth, you left dumbfounded in the basement in the cargo hold with this still explosive device, but now seemingly you've dispelled the trigger. As the buzzing stopped, as the other 2 ran away with theirs, you sat there and contemplated for a minute what could have happened if this were to have gone boom. Meanwhile, Revi and Seven and Tinkers decided to expertly pick apart and dismantle this android while trying to keep it alive. Revi, as you pulled back the head and were dissecting, you were paused with the realization that this creature, different than the previous one you dissected, had a human, or at least humanoid, brain attached to it. Not wanting to push any deeper yet into that aspect, Tinker's helping you right yourself and keep moving forward. You dissected different parts of it. You found a stone, a voice where the voice box would be, the source of this repeating phrase, a similar magic, something you've done before. This box that just kind of repeated a phrase on loop over and over and over again when triggered. You struggled with the fact that, could this be you? Are you trying in some future self to kill yourself and your group? But through some conversations with Tinkers, you were able to ground it a little bit in, you wouldn't be this sloppy. You wouldn't do this.
At this point, I'm being mocked. The tattoo was the light was Workin's lightning, right?
Correct.
Yep.
You discovered around the right wrist of each of these creatures that were hitting you with swords that give you a jolt of electricity, a familiar tattoo of something that adorns your neck currently, the lightning bolts of Workin. As the group came back together, a few more realizations were had by these creatures, as the one that you had unfortunately perished in the surgery. Seven, you found a heart. As this creature indeed also has a heart.
Did.
You also found, Seven, that appeared most of them, again, still had a lot of their, while they were a combination of metal and, flesh, a lot of them showed signs of being elvish of some kind. You saw, familiar pointed ears and, fine facial features. And on a little bit further investigation of the bodies, you found the cloaks that they were wearing. And upon passing them off to Valir, though they did not match a current style or pattern currently made by the Workensock family, it was definitely Workensock silk. Finely made for combat and fashion. Right here on these weird time assassins from the future. Is there anything you guys would like to add? If I missed any major point, that's basically the end of my recap. But if you guys want to add any fun points, moments, things that you want to put in there, go ahead. If not, I can dive us in.
I think the only quote maybe big thing is that once we calmed down, we realized that there was an empty room left between us in terms of our assignment.
Yes.
And then I made us a suite during the battle.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Yeah,
You did. The holes in the ship have been noted.
I see that.
And just a little add on more to that, there was a space between the rooms, and then one of the rooms was across the hallway. So none of our rooms were directly connected.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But, Suji collected a shit ton of ore and scrap.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna gather that and harvest it. So.
I'm just waking up. Yeah, not only is it ore, but it is like perfectly refined ore, even better than Tinkerer's refinement.
this would be a different classification from the ore before. Like if we wanted to do it by grades or something like that, right, DM?
And like a video game,
Or-
this would be like tier 1 versus like tier 2 or 1.5.
It's really for, like the sheets, because I still have some of the old Nelfinian ore left, the one he refined.
For no keeping, you can just put, either or like you can put Nelfinian ore obtained on the airship just for sake of it, or however you want to. It is a different type of Nelfinian ore, so you can, however you want to denote it in your notes, you may do so, and then just let me know which one you're using when you use it.
Got it. So yeah, once that whole process has been finished, once we've harvested these things, I'll offer to Suji if he, wants to just shove it in the bag.
I would have definitely had some Nelfinian ore on me, but we would have maybe threw the rest in the bag.
Yeah, that's
Just
fine. Yeah,
don't have to grab it from the car. It was 22 pounds of Nelfinian ore. Was it like 18 pounds of silver? What of copper?
22
actually-
pounds Nelfinian.
I'm gonna have to find that page in my notes. They got a little jangled up.
Okay, no worries. I'll get it later. They're all
So there's some
around
silver
the
and some
20
copper?
pound.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that's-
definitely Nelfinian, silver, and copper were the three types of metal.
Got it. All right, I'll make a note so we go back to that later. Oh, I think that's about it, Suji.
Oh, okay. So we're kind of retconning a little backwards.
What?
Well, we already like kind of jumped ahead to the sleeping situation.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. That's fine. Let's just go to that then.
Yep. No one else has anything to add. As the party went to bed that evening, Suji,
Yeah. Prayed to
For a
work
long-
and then took a nap.
you did. You
Or
played
not work, not
Hondrick.
working. Oh my god.
Yeah. As you prayed to Hondrick, asking for, advice, asking for insight into some of the things that you've seen recently. As you drift off into your trance, into your meditation, you suddenly felt the area around you intensify in heat as your eyes fluttered awake from a area of pitch black. You had to adjust quickly to a familiar sight: the raging fires, the falling of lava. The first place you met Hondrick. You are indeed at his forge. And you heard a voice call out, "All right, I guess it's time for us to talk."
That's where we'll pick up.
Yes, that is where we'll pick up.
That nap like messed me up so badly. Okay. It's been so long since I've been in a truly proper forge. I didn't truly see the beauty before, but now I do.
Well, I'm glad you've grown to appreciate it. So, what the fuck can I do for you?
Yes, I definitely have. I definitely respect the work now, but we have more serious things to talk about. as much as I want to just talk to you about this and that, I have something to show you. And I pull out some of the Nelfinian ore.
As you reach into your pouch and you're like, God, I hope this is here. And you, sure enough, have a piece on
does
you.
ore carry to dreams? Apparently, yes.
I think
Apparently,
it'd be anything that's on your body. In theory.
you don't know, but yeah, you reach
Yeah,
into
it's a dream.
you reach into your pouch, and of course, yes, there is thankfully a piece of the scrap of Nelfinian ore you had just finished harvesting.
And I hand it over to him.
You see, he turns it over in his hand for a second or two. Well, that's definitely a fun piece of metal. It's been perfectly tempered, forged in, I'm going to assume, a pretty humanoid shape. It's hard to tell with the scraps, but not armor. Huh.
As expected, perfect analysis. But one of my questions is I made some armor very recently. Very hard work. And
Oh,
it
I'm
came-
aware of what you did.
Yes, I know. You're always watching. But it wasn't quite this good. How common even could it possibly be for people to make this perfect of metal? Do you have a lot of students? Is it kind of commonly done that there's really master blacksmiths around the world? Because there was a lot of this metal all made exactly the same.
You see, as he looks at it for a second and kind of takes in what you're saying. Well, I'll be honest with you. For someone to do that to Nelfinian ore, that's, well, let's just say it wasn't commonplace for any of my students to get their hands on it when I was more prevalent in the world. Outside of the people in this room currently, maybe one or two, if they're still around, that could do something like that.
I'm gonna mispronounce it like always. But basic so as you were saying, and a lot of this is gonna come out crazy, but I am gonna say a name. It, first off, before I make you think I'm completely wild and out of control, do you know anything about Jezrus Featherlog?
I have absolutely no clue who the fuck that is.
Okay, fair. Okay, now to the crazy part. Now, this shit just happened. I haven't had time to think about it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But, a member of our party, Ravi, can control time to some degree. We met another guy who controls time even more. We believe these things that attacked us were assassins made by ourselves. So I'm thinking I made this armor in the future, and there's many components all relating to other party members. We don't know what the fuck's going on, but it scares the living shit out of me.
Well, it definitely sounds like some scary shit. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not much of a mage. That's not really what I do. It's Is there a question in there? I'm not quite sure what are we getting at.
I think I'm looking for guidance. If this is something that's going to be attacking us, and potentially from the prior attacks, it gets better and better, I'm going to have to improve even more as a black. Is there any way you could teach me to reach this level?
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Hmm.
Really want you to have a 21.
Black. Because other than protecting ourselves, we do have some people in this world we need to take care of. And not in a defensive way.
Suji, he looks you up and down, and you know he's been brass. He's been, your first interaction with him, he literally bemoaned the fact that you were the one that put on the pauldron and were here. You could have swore, but you kind of talked yourself out of it. You saw it for a second when you finished forging the scythe. Just a smile, small smile on his face, like that little like moment of like a smirk of like, all right, I see what this kid's working with. It is not hard to see. Grinning ear to ear, Hondra kind of looks at you and just, all right, you're ready to get to fucking work. That's nice. All right, well, for starters, I got 2 notes, just 2. One, it was a beautiful piece you did. But really, your first piece you make for a fucking cat?
Wasn't really my choice, but it was inspiration. What did you see when I like added those propellers onto it? And Ravi was like, "We could add that later," and then Tinker's put it on, and they're just like in the middle of his wing. Those will never even work. Imagine if I did that to myself.
Yeah, it would have been fucking embarrassing. But yeah, no, it's not really a note, it's just like, really, what the fuck, man? But the actual real note here is look, our line, our things that we do, our blacksmiths and the like, and artisans of this type, we're not humble people. You got to get yourself a signature, man. You gotta sign your work.
I need to sign my work? Question mark.
Fuck yeah. What else? People gotta know who fucking made it. Put your goddamn sign on it. Fuck, use mine for all I care. You're basically part of my arm at this point.
That is very kind of you, and I may do that. But I guess I've never truly had an ego like other people in my party. Huh.
I'm just saying, take a little
Okay.
pride in what you did. It's good work. People should know where it came from.
Yeah, they should. as I'm kind of thinking back, like, huh, what those have marked?
I
Okay,
noticed
you know what? From now on, I will have a signature.
Glad to fucking hear it. But anyway, yeah, he'll take some time. Cool. So yeah, he takes some time. He drills more. A little of what Dory was doing, just a little bit more hard-handed and exacerbating. He drills knowledge of, tool implementation, gives you like actual understanding of like before you were just doing things because it felt right. He is giving you now the actual working knowledge of why you do certain things and why, how you're supposed to temper different steels and different metals and how to combine them to, increase their mobility and strength, and kind of going through like those different motions and kind of almost breaking down the process that you just saw. Like, you made Tinker's armor and you didn't know why in certain places you were adding like, copper or steel or, other like metal ingots to it to give off certain, flexibilities. But now he's kind of like just helping you make something, but also helping you go through the process of it. You know what I mean? Like actually diving into it and giving you kind of that working knowledge of like doing this correctly almost. I would like you to give me give me a give me an intelligence check plus double your proficiency modifier.
Just a normal roll, right?
Yep, D20 plus your intelligence plus twice your proficiency bonus.
13.
Time here doesn't move like it does in the real world. You're not sure if you're here minutes or hours, but by the end of it, you're starting to grasp the things he's telling you, and in a way that like either reinforces or exceeds what Dory was trying to teach you. By the time you're done and just kind of you thought at first you were just like practicing on like ore and just hammering out different pieces of metal, but next thing you know, you pull out from the forge and you dip it in water. You watch as the steam rises off. A beautiful, slightly imperfect, but not so imperfect that it wouldn't be functional. It's more aesthetic imperfections. You pull out from this Nelfinian ore that you forgot you even were working with. You didn't even see him put that into the forge. You pull out a beautifully made, again, slight imperfections visually, breastplate.
I like start examining the breastplate, kind of immediately noticing the imperfections, but feeling it, checking. It's not quite there, but this is immensely better. I think I'm starting to grasp the concepts. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. It's there's room for improvement, but if you actually keep practicing, maybe you'll get there.
For how long we've been traveling, there hasn't been much downtime. I was lucky enough to use the forge for a few days. Honestly, it was kind of like super peaceful. It's almost like I felt like I was home. got to just focus on it. Nothing else really was a worry, except the random people that jumped us. But it was nice. Any chance? Is there anything other than the forge itself that you would consider one of your greatest pieces of work that you have on display here?
Oof. Certainly an interesting question. I mean, it's hard to look at the majesty of the forge and not see its beauty, but he kind of points at. He points towards you. That was definitely one of my. It's definitely not one of my best pieces, but it's certainly one of my favorites.
Me?
The pauldron, you fucking god, fucking damn it!
Yes, the pauldrons are actually awesome, and that's one of the reasons why when I saw the Nelfinian ore, I was like, this is so similar in quality that it only could have been made by possibly you, or if this whole future thing's true, potentially me in the future. That's one of the reasons I'm going to always have the mark now. Recheck the pieces scrap to make sure the mark's not on any of them. Possibly change my future, whatever that could possibly mean. Plus the pride, ego. Everyone's got to know I'm the best, right?
Damn straight, man. You got it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be purely ego. It's just have a little pride, you know.
I think I can learn a lot from Valir about that. Okay. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much.
Well, Suji, you weren't my first choice, honestly, or my second. Probably not my third. But I suppose certain things happen for fucking reason. Fuck you, Bellamy. Fuck off. All right. Fuck it. I get it. God, why is he always fucking right?
You say he?
Oi, Bellamy. Fucking dick.
Some reason I always thought Bellamy was a woman. I think they talked about it, but religion's never been too much my strong suit. Other than you, of course.
Look, my ego's big. You don't need to stroke it that hard, all right? I get it. But don't read too much into that. It's, it is what it is.
Speaking of religion, is there a god, deity that controls time or does any of that?
Oh, thank the gods. I thought you were going to ask me if there were gods while talking to me. That would have been fucking infuriating. You see, time is a weird thing. Luxforna technically is the goddess of time. She is she oversees kind of the changing of it, and the transition of phases and things like that. But time,
Lorna,
Luxforna.
yeah. That's actually a name that also needs to bring up. I know I was trying to head out, but everything's kind of rushing back to me. Do you know about the artifacts of the other gods, especially Luxforna's timepiece, which I believe Luxforna hasn't had for a long time?
I'm familiar with quite a few of the artifacts of the gods. I mean, I crafted most of them.
That's what I was thinking of. Did you craft that one? Do you know what it exactly does?
So to be clear, yes, I did in fact craft the timepiece of Luxforna. What it does, that's fucking beyond me. I don't get into the magic mumbo jumbo of shit. I made it. I passed it on to her, and I let her God, do whatever the fuck she wanted with it. I don't care.
Mm. I know it's not as much to you, but that Jezerus Featherlog guy I mentioned before, believe he has the timepiece and multiple other gods' artifacts. It's one of the reasons we need to eventually find him. Since I believe he also killed my parent and another party member's parent.
No shit.
Yeah, crazy shit's been going on, not gonna lie. You know, some days I'm like sad and some days I'm angry. I don't know what's even going on. I used to just like live in the woods. Like, I don't even know how old I am, but like, I'm not even that old. Like, I'm guessing I'm like 28. Hanging out around these other guys, or like, oh, I'm 100-year old elf, and I'm like, am I hanging out with old men the whole fucking time? It's fucking weird, but it's been a journey, and it's definitely more interesting than playing with plants at some time. I have been through giant tidal wave that like all sorts of. Dude, also, okay, last question. Last question. I don't want to take up all your time. Do you know about? Did you see us when we were like inside this temple and there was this giant like water creature and then it sunk the entire island? Do you know what the fuck was up with that?
All right, let me be clear about one thing. I'm not one of those. Don't get me wrong. There are some of those weirdos out there that just watch people all day. I usually only tend to watch you when you're in the forge. Um, I could care less about literally anything else that is happening.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But just for random chat, like, yeah, there's some giant guy, some kind of giant elemental sunk a island. We had to run off the island, but I got to control water, which maybe I'll be able to use in the forge. Maybe I can control lava. Either way, thank you. I'm fine to be off now. Let you get back to your own forging.
All right, Suji, you take it easy and don't die.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know how this shit works. Just don't die.
Okay. I'm just freaked out with this whole time. I will see you later. I appreciate everything you did for me.
Go on, get the fuck out of here.
Uh,
You watch as
Where's the exit again?
he goes and he bangs the hammer like down on the forge and that loud like clanking noise. You kind of like you shunt out of there, open your eyes like long enough to realize like you're in your room on the airship.
Oh, jeez. Assume everyone's still asleep or whatever.
Yeah. Meanwhile. Do, 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 do. Saishori.
She's in the restroom right now.
Okay. Well then, I guess we'll go to this one. Oh, Vinteth.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Vinteth, as you drift off into meditation of trance of your own, the events of the day and the evening and the second part of the evening, all fresh on your mind. You drift off to that place of nothingness, those moments of just what's supposed to be peaceful. Uh, you're not unfamiliar with getting a feeling, getting, a touch, an inkling of someone or something's presence while you're in this state. Though it is usually Soren Lin, the presence you feel is much darker.
Who the hell is it?
As the presence kind of starts to overtake you, the pressure of almost being pounded by waves of something, of energy, of consciousness, of whatever this is, batters against your being. All you hear is that kind of low, like gravelly, just
Who are you? What the fuck?
hello, boy.
Hello?
Oh,
Do I see anything or do I
First-
just hear him?
it is pitch black. It is. You do not see yourself in this moment.
Is it reminiscent of being in the blood pool?
Give me a wisdom check.
5.
Not really. That was much more peaceful. This is a more intense confrontation of like when you attempted to pray in the symphony and were like faced with Workin. Like that oppressive feeling of like a presence that is much stronger and kind of just all encompassing.
Oh boy. Well, who are you? What do you want?
Me? You're the one that woke me up. You were trying to have a conversation, weren't you?
Wait. Wait. Are you the thing that was in the gem, the dragon's blood?
I would watch who you call a thing. But sure, yes, I am the entity currently imprisoned in that forsaken piece of jewelry?
Entity. What? We just assumed you were a soul. What are you?
Soul is not, I guess far off at this point. It's been a while since I've been stuck inside. I'm sorry, where are my manners? You may call me Armand Gore.
Armand Gore. I guess you can call me Vinteth.
Well, Vinteth, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and honestly, nice to have a conversation with somebody after so long.
I have a few questions. What do you know exactly what the thing is you're trapped inside is?
I'm familiar with my current predicament. I'm trapped inside a gem of some kind made from the blood of a dragon of untold power and origin.
Okay. Well, that's about as much as I know. When I first tried to, I guess, commune with you, what what was that language you were speaking? Why can I understand you now?
Sorry for that. Unfortunately, as I said, it's been a while since I've had a conversation, and I hadn't heard that particular dialect you were speaking. So I obviously reverted to my more natural speaking language. But it takes me a while to acclimate to someone else's words.
Yes, but what is that speaking language? It sounded like rocks screaming.
It's the language of my people. Don't worry too much about that.
I mean, that's exactly why I am worried. If your speaking language is screaming and gravel, I'm unfamiliar with what you are. What are you?
I am a being in a hell of a pickle. That's an odd phrase. God, your dialect has some weird idioms. Anyway, what is a pickle?
It is a vegetable that is soaked in vinegar and salt to preserve it. Pretty good.
I have to try one when I get out. Which leads me to our next point. Sounds like you got some questions. Well, I have some needs.
Um, but before we can even begin to negotiate on that part, I don't know where your prison gem thing is. Last I seen it, I was trying to talk to you. It went inside bag of holding, and you were gone. And now you're in my head.
Did you check your pocket?
Can I even check my pocket in this realm?
No.
Whatever state I'm in.
Currently, no.
Okay. I did not know.
Yeah, you might want to start there. I don't like to go far from someone who's tethered to me.
Tethered. Wait. So are you the reason I couldn't attune back to my shield? That makes sense. Fuck me. Oh. Damn, how do I spell his name? Armand Gore? Armand Gore?
ARMONGOR.
That's close. I put 2 R's.
It was nowhere close. I'm sure everyone knew that already, though.
It's not your fault that you put like 4 apostrophes in it. It's fine. You just gotta guess at this point.
AR
Always,
apostrophe
Roach.
MON space G apostrophe ORRRR.
You see, if I were putting apostrophes, that's exactly where I would have put them.
Same. Anyway, Armand, I don't know. What do you want?
Well, I'd like to be out of here. That is my only and full front of my negotiation.
Well, can I ask how you got in there in the first place?
Some time ago, I made a little bit of a fool of a up and coming mage, and he got a little prissy, and he got his friends, and well, mages suck when they're prissy.
Prissy Mage. Dude, how long ago was this? Would I happen to know them? Yeah, how long have you been sealed in here?
Hard to say. I lost track after the first century or two.
Long time. Would you by chance think it was longer than 400 years, 4 centuries, give or take?
Again, hard to say. My vision is clouded until I'm connected to somebody.
You're connected to me now, are you not?
I am. An airship. That's interesting.
Yeah. Bit of a weird one. Better than the ground, I'll tell you that. Better than the sea. Better than the ocean. I don't like the ocean. All right. Better
But
question.
yeah,
Better
sure.
question.
Go ahead.
You said you're an entity, but I assume that before you were sealed away, you were familiar with whatever gods were around at the time.
I'm familiar.
Well, do you have any names for me? Trying to place your space in our current timeline.
Let's see who was around. I mean, Crowan and his sister were doing something. Let's see. Remember those two, Crowan and
Soren Lin. Yes.
That one, yeah. Who's that? That was that kind of. Oh God, the he's kind of uppity, really hard wired, just kind of bouncing all. Bellamy, that fucker, that dude. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of them. I don't fucking know.
Okay, that answers
There.
my main question. You've been around. Do you remember the first Grand Covenant?
I am familiar.
Were you here before the twins came?
You see, now that's something unfortunately I'm not able to speak on. Do with that what you will.
I'll take your word for it. Interesting. So it's possible. How old are you?
I mean, again, hard to say with how long I've been in there, but I was 600 or so when I ran afoul of them mages.
600 before you were sealed. So that answers my question. I won't pry anymore, thank you. Wow. So you were around. You were around. Okay. Is there a reason you can't speak to it? As in you don't remember, or you're just not willing to, you don't trust me enough yet?
Oh no, I don't trust anybody. That should be the first part I'm gonna put out there. But unfortunately, like most of you, well, the rules of them covenants are they extend past just your kind. Let's just put it that way.
So if I'm understanding this right, obviously since you were here before, you're not one of the races. Are you a deity? Lesser deity? Greater deity? How are you?
I'm just Armand Gore, man, and I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Fair. Oh, Armand. This is a little unnerving. Well, if you want out, what do you have to offer me?
Well, I think we could be of assistance to each other. You see, I need a couple things to, well, a couple ways I could break out of here. And I'll let you decide which one is the most beneficial. You could find a powerful enough mage to break break the prison, break the curse, and then just simple break the gem. Let me out. I don't know how prevalent mages are in the world right now, but if that's not something you do, I get the sense that you're not one afraid of getting your hands dirty.
You're correct. That assumption.
You see, this is this prison I find myself in. Think of it as a one-way trip, essentially. It has very powerful ability to capture and contain certain parts of a being. If enough of those certain parts were to make their way in here and I was able to revitalize myself, I could eventually crack this nutshell. Gosh, you got some weird sayings in this tongue. Myself.
So you need parts of yourself to what exactly? Recombine? Were you dissected?
Not so much myself. It could be from anybody. I just need something to juice myself up, if that makes sense.
Example?
Wow, I didn't know they had steroids in this time. For that turn of phrase. I
Armand
wouldn't have been
Schwarzenegger
that
did-
pedantic, but you've been very focused on the phrasing, Roach.
I'm aware. Well, you see, again, I can sense the fact, and yeah, you don't mind getting your hands dirty. And there's certain parts of a person's or creature's anatomy that you are interested in, and there's a certain part of their life essence that I could, in fact, take him to myself and get out of here.
Fascinating. But